Hi guys, Sam here with Bargain Hunting Blonde, and today I am bringing to you a chatty Hermes video. So I have heard a lot of different Hermes rumors, and I have heard a lot of different kind of hate towards Hermes. So today I'm talking about 4 different Hermes hot topics that I'm just giving you guys my opinions on them. So first, and this one's probably the most controversial, but this is how I feel about it. There is nothing wrong with saying you are on an Hermes journey, using the phrase, Hermes journey, talking about your Hermes journey. I know it gets a ton of hate, but I have many reasons behind this. So number 1 is journeying with a brand is completely and totally normal. Okay, so let me explain. So for example, the first bag I ever bought was a Louis Vuitton Speedy 25 Preloved. Okay, like this is before the bandolier came out. This is a long time ago. And when I bought that bag, it was my first taste of luxury and my first taste of Louis Vuitton. Since that purchase, I have gone to buy handbags in store literally like around the world when I travel. I have bought Louis Vuitton shoes. I've looked at Louis Vuitton ready-to-wear, and there's a couple pieces that I really like. I've purchased a piece of Louis Vuitton ready-to-wear. Like, I have ventured out. I've tried the perfumes. I've tried their accessories. I have an Hermes scarf. You know, like, you get into the brand for a reason and then go on a journey with the brand into their other luxury items that they sell. I think that's totally normal. I think a lot of people do that. And even if they don't purchase the other items, they still look at them or think like, oh, that would be nice to own, but you know, I'm going to stick with handbags. But everyone kind of goes on their own journey, even with brands that aren't luxury. And so if you want to call it something else besides a journey, you can, but it is very common to kind of find a brand because of one particular item and then go through and look at what else the brand has to offer. For example, for me, I'm wearing a Saison sweater. I love Saison sweaters. I got into Saison because I had a friend and we were talking about Everlane. I was talking about Everlane's cashmere sweater and it didn't really fit me right. And she suggested, why didn't I try Saison? So I did, and I just looked at their knitwear, and I have since bought so many things from Saison. I love Saison. If my whole closet could be Saison, it would be Saison. So again, another journey with a brand. So I don't totally understand the hatred there. 2 is I understand that people kind of don't like the idea of the journey because you're journeying to get a handbag or something like that. But it is totally valid for everyone to have a different Hermes experience, aka a different Hermes journey, because we are all at the end of the day asking for different holy grail items. For some people, it might be a bag. For a lot of people, it's a bag, but that's not true for everyone. For other people, it could be an Hermes coat, which I love Hermes cashmere coats. They're beautiful. Or an Hermes jewelry piece, an Hermes watch, something from Hermes home. Like, everyone is asking for something different, hence why every journey is different and why people are using the term journey, because they are looking to get something from the brand. Yes, Hermes makes it much more difficult to get pieces, but honestly, I've had very, very similar experiences at Louis Vuitton and at Chanel where they have told you you need to buy other things to get something you want. So I don't think it's necessarily unique to Hermes. Hermes just does it more universally, where I feel that Chanel and Louis Vuitton do that to, certain SAs do that to kind of like test if you're willing to spend a ton of money with them. So everyone's looking for something different. Everyone has a different end goal, a different journey. 3, it's your experience with Hermes and buying things, so you should be allowed to call it whatever you want. That is like the thing that drives me the most bonkers, is like, people are like, you can't call it a journey, you can't do this. It's like, but this is not your money and not you experiencing this. So like, if I want to call it this, like, why can't I call it this? I just don't understand that. And lastly, which is a huge one, is I know people don't like the Hermes journey because they equate with their Hermes game. So even if we call it a game, but you are choosing to go on this game. You can buy all this stuff pre-loved. You can pay more than retail for it if you'd want to go buy it pre-loved. You can even buy it less than retail pre-loved. But you are choosing to go on this Hermes experience, Hermes journey, play the Hermes game. That is you choosing to do it. No one is forcing you to do it. So that people just like get really angry at people who use the Hermes journey phrase, to me, is just like uncalled for, and no one's forcing you to go on an Hermes journey or Hermes experience. So like, you know, like you do you. Like everyone's got their own things that they like and that they want to spend money on. So I've never understood all the hatred towards the phrase Hermes journey. I get that people don't like the Hermes game, but no one's forcing you to play it. So play if you want to, do not play if you do not want to. The pre-loved market is there. It is very, very healthy and you will find what you want. Next, 2, that people only buy other things besides a Birkin or Kelly for Birkin bait. There's not a catchy phrase for the Kelly, but Birkin bait. So for me personally, that doesn't apply if you like what else you're buying. Like I would be totally happy, and I've said this before, if I had not without a Birkin with the things I have bought. I love Hermes cashmere, I love Hermes shoes, and I like Hermes fine jewelry and watches. Like without getting a bag, I'd be very happy with those things. I wear them all the time. I actually wear them more than I wear my bags. So I think for some people it's totally true that people are just buying things to get one of those quota bags, but that's not true for everyone. And if you're actually buying what you like, then like you do you, like you would have bought it anyway. I literally would have bought all that stuff anyway. So there's that. Also, second, not everyone's goal is a Birkin or a Kelly. So I think that saying that people only buy other products from Hermes to get a Birkin or Kelly is not at all true. It is not universally true. I've seen a lot of people who say like, if you're saying that, you know, you don't buy those things because you only want a Birkin or Kelly, you're like lying. You're not lying. You really could like those items and that could actually be only what you want. For some people, a Birkin or Kelly are not their end goal, like at all. Like they have no interest in them and they still buy Hermes. And 3, again, it is your money, spend it how you want. So if you want to buy a ton of things that you think are going to help you get a Birkin but that you don't like, that's totally up to you. I personally wouldn't do it. But if that's what you want to do because your end goal is to get the Birkin or a Kelly and you're going to sell whatever else you bought, like you do you. I don't understand why people get like so angry about certain things with Hermes. Like you do not have to play the game and you do not have to buy things you do not want. No one is holding a gun to your head. I hope. And if they are, then you should definitely not be buying at that Hermes boutique. Talk about bad customer service, guys. And as I said, I have like pages of stuff on this. You can be buying Hermes for more than just a quota bag. And I actually personally know people who have no desire to have a Birkin or a Kelly, and they just like Hermes home goods. Like they like their blankets, their pillows, and their porcelain and all of that. And so that's just what they buy. And I actually have a friend who was like offered a Constance and she had was like, oh no, I'm not interested in the bag. So again, not everyone is just buying things to get a quota bag. 3, and this one is an interesting one because I have tried many a time to get a FSH appointment and I've never gotten one. So the flagship appointments are really hard to get. I have a friend who literally just got back. I'm filming this on Sunday. She got back on Friday. She tried for a week to get an appointment and she did not get one. And the appointment system now is for all 3 stores, not just the FSH store. And she was open to all 3 and she did not get an appointment. So it used to be, my SA told me, that you could, if you were, you know, someone who shopped regular with a sales associate in the States, they could help you get an appointment at a Parisian store, specifically the FSH store. That is not the case anymore unless you're like a super, super VIP. I'm sure they would make some sort of, you know, change for you, but then you're probably going to get an appointment anyway. But that is not something they do anymore. So why it's so hard to get an FSH appointment is I've heard, and I don't know if this number is true, but I do believe the second number, that about every day, about 10,000 people are applying for 250 spots. I think the 10,000 is really high. I think it is definitely a couple thousand are applying every day for 250 spots. And again, only 250 spots. That is not a lot, and that is why you're going to get rejected a lot when you apply through their online portal. And that is also because people like to go to Paris because it is a workaround for having to play the game, have an Hermes journey, all of that, that you can go there, have no history, and be offered a Kelly or a Birkin, which is really great, honestly. I think that's really cool, but that is why also it's so competitive, is because people would rather not have to buy anything else because all they wanted the whole time was a Birkin or a Kelly. It's totally fine. And might be your experience, might be someone else's experience, that's all they want. And so that's a way to do that without buying anything else. Though I do know people in the States who have bought nothing else and been offered a Birkin or a Kelly. So I think it really just depends on where you're shopping. And this, to me, is the most interesting part of trying to get an appointment. why a lot of people who are there just there like for a week or 2 weeks. I've been there more than once, but I was there for a week on my honeymoon. Both me and my husband applied with our respective phones and passports, and we did not get an appointment. And that is because people who live in surrounding countries, I have colleagues who do this, they will apply every day until they get an appointment. And then when they get an appointment, they just hop on the train, book a cheap flight, get there somehow, and go and see if they have the bag they want. So they can apply literally every day, 365 days a year. Granted, Hermes is not open 365 days a year, but if they were, they could apply every day until they finally get an appointment. So if you're a Parisian visitor, like me just going to visit Paris, you only have a week to try to get an appointment. They've been trying to get an appointment and apply every day. So you're competing with not just everyone who's in Paris, because they do not limit where you can access the website from. You can literally access the website from anywhere in the world, and that allows people to apply, and if they're close enough and they can get there quick enough, they just go. So like I have a London colleague, she would literally apply every day, finally get an appointment, and then just hop on the train and go to Paris. So, you know, it's really hard to get flagship appointments. I think some people think they're going to somehow like skirt around it, or they're going to get really lucky. And people totally get lucky, but also like, I do think it's just really, really hard to get those appointments. And my last hot topic, which is something that I literally was just in Hermes on Thursday and asked my essay about, is the idea that there are no more bags coming to the US this year. So this is somewhat true and somewhat false. So there will still be some bags coming to the US this year and some leather goods in general, but Hermes, like everyone else right now, is starting to really feel the COVID supply chain crunch, and they have had to replace certain suppliers of certain goods, like certain leathers and stuff like that. My essay was saying they're having a hard time retaining artisans. A lot of older artisans not applied. A lot of older artisans retired. So they're just having a slowdown on how quickly they're getting out luxury goods and just their supply chain. So there are still bags coming in, and people are still going to be offered bags all the way, you know, through the end of this year, through the Christmas time and Christmas season. But there are certain items that are now becoming harder to get than they used to be, and they're almost more seen as like quota bags when they're not quota bags. So for example, she and I were talking, and she knows what I've bought, and she was like, you know, for example, like your Picotin 18, those are really hard to get right now. So that if I was to offer you one of those now, that would almost be seen as me offering you a quota bag, even though that's clearly not a quota bag. So there is a lack of leather items out there. She said it's leather in general. It's not just the handbags, like it's leather shoes. You know, like for example, when I bought my boots, she was saying that they tried to order like the bigger sizes, you know, like at least one of each, and they literally just got the 40.5 and they didn't get that colorway in any of the other colors any of the other sizes they had asked for in the bigger size range. So like they literally got the 40.5. They didn't get the 40, they didn't get the 41, the 41.5, or the 42, just because there is a lack of leather right now and a lack of artisans. So I wouldn't like freak out that there is going to be no bags, but I do think that there is definitely going to be kind of what we've been seeing for a bit now, just less items to be offered. And normally I know brands do like to increase what they have in stores come Christmas time, and I just don't think that is going to happen with Hermes this year. But as we know, Louis Vuitton stockpiles stuff, so you'll probably be able to find Louis Vuitton canvas pieces, but Hermes does not have that. So those are the 4 hot topics that I want to talk about with Hermes, specifically my displeasure over people hating the phrase the Hermes journey and then the whole Birkin bait thing. So please let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear it. If you disagree with me, please let me know. I know a lot of you are going to, but that's just personally how I feel and what I have experienced buying Hermes. So if you want to see more videos like this, please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video, which is twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. If you want to see how I style my bags, please make sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and my blog, all of which are linked down below. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.